Welcome back, everyone, to Recruiting Thursday here on the Westmoreland Sports Network, where we highlight local athletes who make the decision to take their academic and athletic careers to the collegiate level. And this week, we have Ligonier Valley football standout and recent Washington and Jefferson commit, Nick Beitel. Nick, really great to have you join the program today. First off, congratulations on the recent commitment. How does it feel making that decision?
Oh, it feels great. First of all, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm just really excited to become a president. Really excited for Coach Sirianni to
Yeah.
start coaching me. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, that's very, very cool. Well, again, first off, congratulations. And I really want to dive into, why you wanted to go to W&J and what made you want to go there. And then also, what do you plan on majoring there?
So first off, I plan on majoring in finance with a minor in. I'm deciding between either accounting or economics. So that's my educational route. And pretty much I chose Washington Jefferson because it's a historically great program. Coach Sirianni, he's a great coach. He has a lot of great connections. You know, they have a lot of deep history. Linking back to they played in the Rose Bowl. I think it was in the 1920s. My brother also goes there. He's a DB there right now. So like going there and having a chance to play with him is an opportunity that you can't really pass up. That you get only once in a lifetime. So that was one of the factors that led to the decision. It's a great school academically too. It met all my needs, like academically, like everything I was looking for. I just thought it was the best fit for me in every aspect of decision making.
Well, very cool. That's great that, they kind of highlighted and checked all those boxes for you. And I want to ask about, obviously your brother being a part of the president's football program as well. How much advice or what kind of advice did he share with you going through this process, the recruiting process, obviously, but then also kind of preparing you for what's to come when you do arrive on campus at Washington and Jefferson?
Yeah, it's really nice. So my family and I would go down a lot, like almost every Saturday, and would watch their home games. So I got to experience their atmosphere there and like their game day and everything like that, and hear from my brother about like everyday life, practice, like in the classroom, like a classroom field balance, what it's actually like to be a player in college and everything like that. So it's really cool to hear from him, and I've gained a lot of knowledge and like preparation leading into next year.
Yeah, that's definitely got to be really nice. You're kind of going into the program with a little bit of familiarity with your brother being there. But I do want to ask about the recruiting process as a whole and what that's been like for you, and especially during the pandemic and in the midst of the pandemic. So, what was the recruiting like, or the recruiting process like for you when, the pandemic was really at its peak and you weren't really able to see coaches face to face? I mean, what did you kind of have to do to alter that a little bit and have to kind of, deviate and go a different route?
Yeah, so without being in school, we didn't really have an opportunity for any coaches to come in and see us at the end of our junior year. So like this summer, I really had to try to expose myself and get myself out there by going to a lot of camps, such as like the mega camp at Pitt, just some other ones. But like I went to those throughout the summer, just really trying to expose myself to every opportunity I could get. And Washington and Jefferson were at a couple of those, and they always came up to me and checked in on how I was doing. And it was just like they always made it sure they always made sure they knew I was there. So that's just little things like that is something you note in the recruiting process. So like building relationships with all these coaches is something you really look forward to. And the ones I've built with the coaches at Washington and Jefferson is just something like I'm really looking forward to continue.
Yeah, being able to build that strong relationship with a coach is, I mean, that's got to be, again, just such a nice thing to have when you go into a new program or just really being a main stage in the program for many years. So that's got to be really nice for you going into that as well. You have that relationship with them. Now, I want to get into a little bit of Ligonier Valley football, obviously, and we'll touch on this season and whatnot. But I want to first start off with the recent transition that you guys have gone through from going from District 6 to District 7. So when you guys did make that jump a couple years ago, what were the immediate adjustments and kind of a couple transitions that you guys had to make going from District 6 to District 7?
Like so whenever we first made that initial switch, you didn't really know what to expect because everyone always talked like, "Ooh, it's the big bad whipule," like so like you didn't really know like what we were going to get into. However, in our first year, we scrimmaged South Allegheny and we got a feel for what it was like. So with only having one senior on our team, my junior year, which would have been the 2020 season, I feel like we were really successful. we went, I believe, 4-3 that year, and like I said, one senior and playing a tough Whitfield schedule. We play in the 2A conference, where that includes Sarah, Steel Valley, Shadyside. So we play in a really tough conference. So going from District 6, where we're playing in Heritage Conference, from mainly single A schools, to going against these tough 2A powerhouse, like perennial powerhouses that we're facing, it was a tough change, but I feel like everyone was really, really good about it. Like the whole way down, our coaching staff was great, getting on top of things, working out with us all summer, especially this summer. We hit a lot of 7-on-7s, lineman challenges, because we couldn't do that in the 2020 season. So really, like, I feel like this past year is where we really made a stride, like, in establishing ourselves in the Whitfield, qualifying for playoffs. So really just getting used to that, just physicality in the game, because you got to play physical all 4 quarters. In a Whitfield game, it comes down to who has more splash plays, making big plays down the field, maximizing who's getting more of those, and limiting how many the other team can make. So that's something we really had to adjust to. So I feel like we've done really well in doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that had to have been very challenging for you, especially with it being, your first season in the Whitfield, and then also going through COVID. And like you mentioned, and it was a good point that you mentioned, not having a whole lot of time in the preseason to kind of get prepared for that. I do want to ask about, when you guys made that transition, the years leading up to that, was there kind of some murmurs and some, rumors going around that was most likely going to happen, or did that kind of happen overnight for you guys?
I wouldn't say it was overnight. I mean, our coach, he talked to us, Coach Beitel, of course, my dad. Yeah, he talked to us. He had a team meeting. He discussed how they were going to have the proposition to move to the Whitfield, and how they asked our opinions on it, and we were like, we thought it was a great opportunity to better ourselves and our school. So we thought it was best for everyone. So I believe every coach asked their team and their opinions, and everyone. We came to the conclusion that the move was best for not only like athletics, but also academically, like through like quiz team and stuff like that. So just the move was good for everyone across the board.
Well, it's great that everybody benefited from it, and obviously you guys also, and especially when you moved over to the Whitfield. I mean, you guys were really good this past year, 8-3 overall, had a great season. I'm glad you touched on your dad, though, Roger, because I do want to dive into that, because he is the head coach of Ligonier Valley, so he's been your football coach the last few years. What are some words of advice or some words of wisdom that he has shared with you during the time that you guys have been, kind of in this player-coach relationship? And then also, what kind of advice did he give your entire team when you guys were making that jump to District 7?
Yeah, so like I've been around the program probably since I was allowed to be on the sideline when I turned 7. So like from that point on, I was on the sideline until my past senior year. So, and up until that, I was around the program even before. So I've been around the program my entire life, for my dad to hear and for him to lecture all the kids who have gone through. So like I've learned a lot through his coaching and like the life lessons he teaches, along with the other guys along with the other coaches on the staff. They're great. I mean, I can't say enough about them. But like honestly, like from the pregame speech to our pregame routine, everything Coach Boyle does, he has it down. Game plan, like, it's ready to go. Everyone's on board. It's great. I mean, it's a great atmosphere to be in. I loved it.
Well, it's got to be very, very unique, especially, I mean, you don't really see a whole lot of instances where it's a father-son and a coaching player kind of dynamic. Have you found that, in the last few years or so, at times it's hard for you guys to kind of leave football on the football field and then, carry that home? Because that's I'm sure you get that question a lot. Has that kind of been a constant theme, or just at least a theme in the past for you guys?
Yeah, so there have definitely been some times where we've gotten into it about football at the house. We really try to keep football outside of the house, like not football outside of the house in general, but like in our particular situations, like say like if I made a mistake at practice and he addresses it at practice, and I didn't necessarily like the comment he made or whatever, and I come home and I bring it up, that's not good on my part, and we we'd get in an argument or whatever. But aside from that, I mean, we knew like football's football. When we get home, like, it's family time, So I feel like we had a really good football life balance between us.
That's great. I mean, I think that's very important, because, I mean, you see that all the time, I'm sure, where, there might be a situation where, it's hard to leave that on the field, leave that in the office, leave that at the workplace versus bringing that home. And you want to be able to have that divide a little bit. But I want to ask now also just kind of the dynamic or the excitement, I guess I should say, that you have going into next year playing with your brother. Are there some things that, you're kind of excited to, I mean, because it's been probably year or two since you guys have played together. So are you excited to kind of be almost a new player playing alongside him on a new team as well?
Yeah, so my brother was a senior when I was a freshman, and we were only ever on the field together one time. So it's going to be really cool to like maybe have the opportunity to have that again. So I'm just really looking forward to that. And yeah, just looking forward to this upcoming season. I'm just really excited. The Pac's really good football conference to play in. W&J is a great program, and these years past have been uncharacteristic of them. Looking at their record, and everyone in the program knows that, and I think everyone who's on board knows that what the main goal is. So we're all looking forward to what we can do this year.
Well, it sounds very exciting for you and for the program and really the program that you're coming from and going to as well. So wish you nothing but luck. But before I let you go, Nick, one last question, and kind of just involves really, what you're going to be carrying over from your time at Ligonier Valley over to W&J. So what from your days playing as a Ram do you plan on trying to carry over and apply to when you become a president?
Just always being one of the hardest workers in the room. That's what we always base our program on, being, just working harder than everyone else. So when I'm getting W&J, I feel like if I continue to work hard, I can push the people around me and work hard, and we can meet where we can get where we want to be.
Well, awesome, man. Well, hey, nothing but luck moving forward. I wish you nothing but luck, and obviously finish out that senior year strong. But it's very exciting stuff, and as well, you get to play with your brother again next year, so that's very cool. But thanks for joining us today on WSN, and good luck moving forward.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.